It all started when I gathered the courage and I asked the boys in my neighborhood if I could play with them. And we started playing games like hide and seek and badminton and ice water. You know, those little games that kids play on the streets with their neighbors. So yeah, and then we finally moved on to football. I was not so thrilled about football, and in fact I did not even like it back then. I had no idea about the game, and I basically got inducted into it by default. They made me stand behind as the goalkeeper. I don't blame them. It was the job nobody else wanted, and they were like, let's just make the girl do it. So for weeks, I just stood back there and waited for the ball to come to me. And little did they know that that scrawny little girl standing behind was actually observing their every move and was absorbing all that was going on. And I was actually getting to know the sport, well, a little bit anyway. And it was some time before I got promoted from my goalkeeper position and actually got to play with them. And with time, I got better. And then if I would do something even remotely right, like if I would score a goal or beat somebody, they would be like, how did you let the girl beat you? And as easy as it was for that to hurt my ego and to get me upset, I just refused to let it. Instead, I used that as fuel to motivate me to do better and to prove to them that girls can do just as good, if not better. And I'm not saying that girls are better or boys are better. I'm just saying, why should we let society limit us from achieving what we can? And now I realize that I not actually have to prove to a bunch of local boys that, hey, I'm good as well. But I was young back then, and it was that fiercely determined young girl in me who helped me achieve things that those boys at that time could not even have dreamt of. Slowly, it became more about the game as I fell in love with it. And I found myself on the school football team, and I used to practice every day before my classes, and I got to play my first inter-school tournament. And I unexpectedly won the best player award, and I was thrilled and shocked, and I was ecstatic, and that was the moment when football became something real to me. Up until then, it was just a mixture of, wanting to do something and just to prove something. But after that, I actually started playing, and I remember this conversation I was having with my best friend at the time, who was also my teammate, and I was like, Ujjwala, can you believe it? I actually won this. And what if we both get selected for the Chandigarh team? I mean, we'll play for Chandigarh. And and I've heard that there are these scouts who select players for the Indian camp. I mean, just imagine if we both get selected. I mean, we play for the country. Can you believe we play for the Indian team? And she laughed at my excitement, and she was like, Soumya, come back, and she brought me back to reality. But I believe that was my first step. It was my first step, that crazy, impossible, far-fetched thing that I was talking about. And I went for my first nationals, and I came back, and I had this picture in my mind. I was in my picture, I was wearing the Indian jersey with my name and my number, and I was walking with the rest of the Indian team in the airport, and we were all walking in our fancy Indian jerseys. And I could not get that picture out of my head, and it was etched onto my brain, and I wanted it. It was a beautiful dream. So naturally, I started training, and it was the three of us. There was Hope, Tarini, and me, and we were so motivated, and we trained really hard, and we wanted to beat each other, competitive spirit that we had, healthy competition. And then the second nationals came and went, and there were 4 people chosen for the India camp. Hope was there, Tarini's name was there, my name was not on the list. I felt cheated, I was hurt, and I was disappointed. I had worked just as hard as anybody else, and I felt like I deserved to be on that list. But I felt that way for the entire journey back to Chandigarh from my nationals. And after reaching Chandigarh, I went for practice the very next day, and I told my coach, I remember this conversation I had with him, and I was very emotional at the time, and I told him, sir, I'm going to train even harder, and I'm going to play for the Indian team. And I knew I'd not got selected, but that picture in my mind, it just burned in my brain, and it refused to go. And Tanya used to pick me up for my practice every day, and I reached our usual rendezvous point, and she was waiting for me outside the car, which was very unusual. She used to wait inside, and I approached her, and I had this questioning look on my face, and I looked at her, and she was positively beaming, and she looked at me, and she was like, Soumya, you're not going to believe it, but I'm not kidding. You got selected, and your name came through today, so you're coming with us. That was my first-hand experience with the power of dreaming and visualization. So many girls in our society are brought up to be practical and realistic. And I'm so grateful that that was not how it was in my home. My sister is a national basketball player, and at a very young age, my parents instilled in both of us the ability to dream big and to have the courage to do so. And we were always encouraged to follow our passion, and we were told that it's okay to do more than one thing at a time, studies and sports and music and dance. And we were told that if you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything, as cliche as it might sound. So my mom, strict as she was, and I'm so grateful for it, she let us do whatever we wanted. She let us participate in as many things as we want, as long as it was not at the cost of our academics. And I believe that I was able to do well in my studies only because of football, because every time I played football, I would just be so happy, and I would be energized mentally, and I was able to put more effort into it. And that made me more responsible, because I was responsible for my own grades. It made me accountable, and it helped me to get the discipline needed to succeed in life, irrespective of the field. I went for my first international tournament to Jordan. It's near Saudi Arabia, and I did not get to play there. I was the youngest in the team, and I sat out on the bench. I could not make it to the playing 11, and I just watched my team play from outside. And when I came back, I had a bigger dream. It was more extravagant, and I wanted to be the captain of the Indian team. And it sounded crazy to me also, and I did not even want to tell it to anybody else. But I wanted it so badly, and I'll tell you how badly. My Facebook password was, and I'm not kidding, it was I am captain. And then the universe had to listen to me. I became the captain of the Indian football team. I always played a sport which was considered to be a tough male sport, and being thought less of, and being questioned, and being doubted, that was what made me work harder. And I'm so, don't let the people around you keep you from growing into the person you can become. Don't let their negativity and their doubts cripple you from even dreaming about achieving something extraordinary. I'm so grateful to women like P.V. Sindhu and Sakshi Malik, who were so passionate and so strong about what they wanted to achieve, that they did not let societal norms of gender tie them down. And in the face of all adversities, they still managed to achieve what they did. And I'm sure most people in this room were probably thinking for the most part of August that India, with a manpower of 1.2 billion people, and how we're not still able to make a mark in the Olympic community. I mean, forget about big nations like US and China beating us, but even Great Britain beat us again. I tell you why, because half the people in our country don't think that they're macho enough, and the other half, who apparently are, they are being told that there is nothing better than to be an engineer or a doctor. And people kept telling me that you can't play as well and even perform well academically. But I worked my socks off, and I was actually able to do so. And my self-found discipline, the support from my family, and my ability to dream gave me the edge I required. I always wanted to be a doctor, and so after 10th class, naturally, I took medical in 11th and 12th, and people who've taken medical, they probably know that even after studying 24 hours in a day, it's never enough. And the competition, it's just crazy. And I'll tell you the fun part. I went for my practice every day in 11 for 2 hours. And I even played nationals in class 12. And I'm currently doing my MBBS. A great man once said that a man with a dream will not be denied. The power of dreaming is not a myth. I have always just wanted something so badly, and I've just visualized it and thought about it so many times, so emotionally, that I finally achieved it. Thank you.